Do not underestimate the importance of finding the right partner in life and in business.
Welcome to Honest E-Commerce, a podcast dedicated to cutting through the BS and finding actionable advice for online store owners. I'm your host, Chase Clymer, and I believe running a direct-to-consumer brand does not have to be complicated or a guessing game. On this podcast, we interview founders and experts who are putting in the work and creating real results. I also share my own insights from running our top Shopify consultancy, Electric Eye. We cut the fluff in favor of facts to help you grow your e-commerce business. Let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome to a live episode of Honest E-Commerce here in Dallas, Texas. This is the second time I've actually recorded it here at Sub Summit, and these live episodes are way more fun because normally it's me and a computer screen, but today it's me and John Clark. He is the founder of Modern Shelving and Tandem Surf. He is a product-driven entrepreneur who has turned a family passion into a nationally recognized brand that's been featured on Shark Tank and is sold across the United States of America. John, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. Last year, I got up on stage and pretended that I was on a podcast, but that has become a reality in 2025, thanks to you.
Absolutely, and it's funny, it's taken us this long. I've known you now for over 2.5 years, I believe, so now we're finally doing it, and we're doing it live here. Again, shout out to Sub Summit. It's amazing, and we'll be doing it again at Kansas City next year. They are not paying me to say that. I just really like this show. So anyways, let's get into it. John, I had already mentioned that you are the founder of Modern Shelving and Tandem Surf. Let's go back in time. Talk to me about Modern Shelving and that business, and then kind of like, where did Tandem Surf come from?
Well, that's a great question. You know, I grew up as an entrepreneur selling ice cream in an ice cream truck, and really knew that that was probably going to be my journey. Actually, I met my wife in 1989 on the beach in south of Boston when I sold her brother an ice cream, and I rollerbladed after her up to the ferry and said, if you guys will give me a ride back, I'll come with you. And she said, only if you give us all a free ice cream. And I said, done. So I did that first deal with my wife in 1989. We ended up getting married. She's actually an engineer. We always said, if I can sell it, she can make it. So back after we got married a few years later, we ended up starting a business called Modern Shelving. Actually, back then it was ISS Designs for Infinite Storage Solutions. And so now we've been really providing the incredible solution of aluminum shelves to people for retail display, for their homes. We have the Shelvinator that we've launched this year, and we're going global. So Modern Shelving is really enabled our family to live a lifestyle of spending time together with our kids on the water, from stand-up paddling to riding the waves, and really is fortunate to be able to start a new company that we pitched Shark Tank with Tandem Surf.
That's amazing. And now, so just to try to paint a picture for the audience here and at home or wherever they're listening to this later on, now Modern Shelving is more of a traditional business in a sense, whereas Tandem Surf went kind of straight direct to consumer.
Good question. Actually, we did start with Modern Shelving by going to people's homes, and I would measure the space, and then we would come up with a solution. But within that first year is when Google Adwords came out. We built a little website, and we started shipping across the country. So within that first year of Modern Shelving, we actually became a D2C e-commerce company.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, over 23 years ago. So we've been doing e-com for a while.
And then where was the idea, what was going on? How did this idea for Tandem Surf pop into your brain?
Well, I've got my wife and now 3 daughters. Okay, so we're bringing the 3 daughters up in Southern California, and my daughters did everything from the junior lifeguards. They became really strong swimmers. They ended up playing water polo. So on my birthday around 2015 was the first time that I wanted to share waves with my daughter on the same board. We had an oversized boogie board, and that's when it kind of started. So it goes all the way back to 2015. And then in 2018, in a local event in San Clemente, so we're from San Clemente, California, surf town, you may know of it. Anybody here ever heard of San Clemente, California? Okay, great. That's where they're actually going to be hosting the Olympics in 2028 in San Clemente. So we're truly in a surf town. And I'm from Boston. So imagine, I'm a Boston guy, didn't grow up surfing, we didn't have waves there, and we're raising our kids in this surf town. I really couldn't catch on to the sport. I was a hockey player, was really good at inline skating or rollerblading around, but when it came to catching waves and surfing, I just really couldn't fit in the lineup. But boogie boarding became my thing with my kids, and riding the same wave with my daughters back in 2015 was really the beginning of this. And I saw the joy in sharing the waves with each of my daughters on that day.
I think this would be a great time to kind of introduce the flagship product and like talk about what that was.
So the flagship product for Tandem Surf is a tandem bodyboard, so inflatable, and that actually is patented. Today I don't have that with me. I have some of our new iterations of our brand, but we started with, if you can imagine, showing up at the beach with an inflatable bodyboard with handles, so one person on the front, one in the back, or side by side, and it allows pretty much anyone to become a surfer. Are there any surfers in the room here? Any surfers? All right, a couple, right? Well, imagine if everyone could raise their arms up and say, I'm a surfer. That's what we have done. We have made it possible for anyone to become a surfer. And I know technically people may say, well, you're not really a surfer if you're not standing up and catching the waves. You're not gnarly. You're not really hip and cool. Well, that's not true. If you're riding the waves, we believe you are surfing. If you are riding the waves with another person, with your mom, with your sister, with your spouse, you've now become a surfer. It's no longer only available to the pros or the people that were fortunate enough to grow up in a surf town. So that's what Tandem Surf is about. We pitched Shark Tank the idea that anyone can catch a wave, and it was so well received, we ended up getting a deal on Shark Tank, and with two sharks, Daniel Lubetsky, who founder of Kind Bars, and Robert Herjavec, the well-known shark in Shark Tank.
That's amazing. We're skipping a few steps here. Let's go back a little bit. So you have this idea. How long did it go from idea, which is I want a tandem boogie board with my daughter, to your first, either rough version of the board or the prototype version of the board?
That's a good question. So in 2015, we picked up like an off-the-shelf, oversized boogie board and used that for two people. And it wasn't until 2020 when we actually came out with our first prototype. So it was
5 years.
5 years, yes. And that first prototype is what we took we would take it to the beach, we would share it with other people, and there was so much excitement around that. We thought, well, let's pitch this idea to Shark Tank and see if we can maybe have that opportunity to even expand it beyond our own family and our own community.
Well, yeah, you have to tell me about the getting prepared for Shark Tank without a product. You had a prototype, you didn't have sales, you just had a dream. Yes, the dream, the American dream of inventing a product. And so we were actually, because we lived in San Clemente, we were connected through friendship to Tom Morey, the original inventor of the boogie board. He was at the time in his 70s and kind of a mentor. The first thing he said when I said, hey, Tom, I think we have something here. We are going to bring the tandem boogie board to market. And Tom Morey said to me, John, stick with shelves. Yeah, he advised me against it. And I see why, because it's so... Obviously, in the shelving business, people really need it. It's a pain point in their life. They want to get organized. And making a product for two people on one board, it's more of a challenge. So obviously, I didn't take his advice. We did go on to launch the board. So Shark Tank is an enabler for many businesses, and because they like the novelty of ideas, and they like to give people opportunities like that. And one of the reasons I'm here at the Sub Summit is to help other entrepreneurs take that spotlight, whether you go viral on TikTok or you have an opportunity on Shark Tank, and how to translate that into a permanent customer so that you can not just sell a product one time on a whim when people buy, but that you have a long time relationship with your customer. I have been in business for nearly 20 years, and very few companies I have hired in that time have performed as well as Electric Eye. They have knowledgeable staff, and our project was delivered on time and on budget. Electric Eye has exceeded my expectations, and I look forward to working with them again. That is a direct quote from one of our clients at Electric Eye. Electric Eye is a Shopify Plus partner that has helped over 100 brands migrate, redesign, and optimize their stores since 2016. If you'd like to increase your conversion rate, average order value, and revenue per session, we are the true Shopify experts you've been looking for. Right now, we're offering a free diagnostic to qualified brands that reach out and mention the podcast. Visit electriceye.io today to schedule a call and send us a message. Find out why we have over 50 5-star reviews in the Shopify partner directory. Again, that's electriceye.io, electriceye.io. You're investing in paid traffic, email, influencers, you're doing everything, but your store's still not converting like you know it should. That's the hidden cost nobody's talking about. If you don't know why people aren't buying, you're constantly losing money. Whenever conversion rate optimization comes up with brands, the first thing I ask them at the agency is what they are using for analytics and behavior tracking. Heatmap.com is my go-to recommendation because it's the only platform I've seen that connects user behavior directly to sales. That kind of visibility is critical for e-commerce brands trying to grow. I tell every brand that we work with to install Heatmap. It shows you what's working and what isn't using real behavior data tied directly to revenue. You get live heat maps, session recordings, funnels, and attribution down to specific product pages. This isn't just another analytics dashboard, it's a revenue optimizer. And right now, Honest Ecommerce listeners get the hookup. They get a 14-day free trial. They get access to their ultimate 150-point CRO checklist. And as a bonus, you'll get a free setup by us over at Electric Eye when you ask for us to do so. So stop wasting another dollar guessing. Visit heatmap.com/honest. That's heatmap.com/honest and start seeing what your customers see, because clarity truly equals revenue. Coming up soon, mark your calendars. Grow New York is September 25th and 26th in Midtown Manhattan, New York City. 2 days, 800 e-commerce leaders. Every session is focused on the biggest shift in our industry right now, AI. If you're a retail brand, your ticket is completely free. But spots are going fast. Go to joingrow.com right now to claim yours before they're gone. That's joingrow.com. joingrow.com. I want to talk about how the Shark Tank episodes in the bump and like what it can do for your business and how it led to this product here in a minute. But I do want to highlight your kind of the community that you've built just within the Shark Tank ecosystem. Talk a bit about that.
Yeah, one of the best things that people that have appeared on Shark Tank talk about is the community that they become part of. That's the best part, because people always ask, what happened once you go on Shark Tank? Are they really helping out? Are you and your sharks, getting together for your weekly updates on what you're working on, your to-do list and so forth? Well, the reality is, like, even when you get a deal on Shark Tank, you have that opportunity. Your Shark Tank partners are already busy with their existing business. So it's really up to you as a Shark Tanker to figure out how to get more sales, how to leverage that. So I took that as the biggest opportunity of change in my life. As a entrepreneur with my wife and I running our modern shelving business, we kind of didn't have a close community or people that we could relate to until we got on Shark Tank. And then all of a sudden we realized this whole community, literally of thousands of people that have had that chance in the spotlight. And so I've really taken ownership of that role in my life to be active in that. And actually, even yesterday, after our panel about from spotlight to subscription, another Shark Tanker came up and said, "Hey, by the way, we have the same partner. I'd love to talk to you about how I can work with Daniel." So it's amazing. All of a sudden, I've gone from being, just an independent entrepreneur living in a surf town to a global phenom. Can you imagine the pressure and the opportunity that I now get to live with?
That's amazing. Now, obviously, everyone that has been on Shark Tank or is thinking about it, there's this concept or idea of like the Shark Tank bump. So when your episode goes live, you get a bunch of traffic and hopefully a bunch of sales, right? And that happened with Tandem, but also some other fun things happened from it.
Yeah, so we were so excited. We formed a connection with our sharks, especially Daniel Betsky. He loved our family. He's a family guy. And we actually closed our deal a couple of days before we actually aired. And so our goal, of course, when we aired, is to leverage all that exposure, but we still just had a limited supply of boards. So we pretty much sold out. And this was back in during 2021 when we aired. So our goal was to then, continue to serve those customers that wanted to purchase and be part of our movement of getting together in the water with their kids. And then we looked at how can we build a brand around this. So we did go on to launch additional products that built off that, with sharing waves together, paddleboarding together, and actually filmed an update that aired on Shark Tank a second time. So that's even what Ari yesterday, who just got a deal with Daniel, was already talking about. How is he going to get back on the show? So the key is you get on Shark Tank, you get a deal, and ultimately if you can get an update, then that's when you get another push of business. And for us, we did get the update. And I'll tell you what, that update didn't generate the sales that the first one did, but even better, a year after the Shark Tank update for Tandem Surf, where we told our story about how we got a deal and then we went to market, the president of Margaritaville, has anyone here heard of the brand Margaritaville? Jimmy Buffett? Yeah, all right, thank you. Thanks
it's
for the
5 o'clock
shout-out.
somewhere for him.
Yes, an iconic brand, okay, multi-billion-dollar brand, actually saw our update, okay, Scott Coble, and went on our website, filled out a contact form and said, yeah, hey, we saw you're on Shark Tank. We're really interested in having you guys take over the Margaritaville water sports products. That's kind of his accent. So Scott and our family, so Margaritaville and our family, are now launching a whole line of co-branded products that not only include our iconic bodyboard for 2 people, but also a whole series of floats. So we've really even taken the opportunity for people to get together in the water to an even more basic skill level. So if you can actually just sit and chill, okay, or sit in a float, then we even have a water hammock. You can now become part of our community. So it's pretty exciting to have an opportunity as a Shark Tank brand to now leverage that community of Margaritaville fans, people that are believers in that brand. And we are now selling through not only the 65 Margaritaville licensed locations, but also on their website, throughout their community. So it's definitely something when you stick to it, because it's been 5 years since getting on Shark Tank that we've had this huge opportunity. And we're actually talking to big box and making plans for 2027 in some well-known big box channels.
That's amazing. Now, can you talk to me about, obviously you have this huge push from Shark Tank, but how else were you getting out there and getting customers that weren't friends and family? I think that's the hardest thing for most entrepreneurs to do when they're breaking a new business, is finding their customers.
Yes, we really believe in the in-person opportunity in events. So we partnered with a lot of nonprofits that had the same philosophy. They reached out to us, or we reached out to them. And so if you go on our website, you can see some of those featured stories. There are a lot of kids in urban environments or young people that are afraid of the water. So we're able to utilize things like events, and that's what we documented. And actually, I've got my documentarian here, Jack Turbeville, to help us with our storytelling, which has been really key, actually, for both brands. We learned so much from Shark Tank about building a new brand and have applied it to our OG brand, Modern Shelving, that together as a family, we're able to continue to live this American dream.
Well, that's a great transition into my next question, which is, how do you balance running 2 businesses?
Well, fortunately, our businesses are very much related. It's surf and shelves. What? You're in the shelving business and in the surf business? I think the key for me was finding the right partner. That day in 1989, when I sold an ice cream to my wife's brother, and I had my skates on because I was an entrepreneur, and rollerbladed after her, that is what changed my life. Do not underestimate the importance of finding the right partner in life and in business.
That's amazing. Now, the product, especially the flagship product, is pretty bulky. How did you navigate trying to sell this big thing online?
Well, good question. So actually our first design of the Tandem bodyboard was made out of foam. Thanks to our connection with Tom Morey, we were able to get the one person in the West Coast that could actually make a board that size, because you can't even source the materials. So as we went through the process of pitching Shark Tank and the market viability, we looked at some other options, and that's where we came up with the dynamic air design. So that's what we use to describe the inflatable technology that we use for our drop stitch bodyboard that we actually pitched on Shark Tank.
And then is that the technology that you then went on to patent?
Yes, we went on to patent both the design and the function of the board. It allows you to roll up the bodyboard, have it in a carry bag or a backpack. When you get to the beach, you just pump it up, and then you have the buoyancy, you have the soft sensation, but also the rigid board that you need for riding waves together safely.
That's amazing. Now, John, is there anything I didn't ask you about that you think would resonate either with today's sub-summit audience or the listeners whenever this comes out in 6 to 8 weeks?
Yes, a good question you could have asked is, how do you translate from that spotlight of Shark Tank into building a subscription business, John? We are here at the Sub-Summit.
Thank you for telling me the question to ask. Now answer.
All right, so last year I kind of crashed the Sub-Summit, okay? I did have a ticket, but I didn't have a subscription business. So you know how out of place you might feel like. Just like in the lineup when I show up with my Tandem bodyboard from Tandem Surf and I don't have a surfboard, I've got to see how I fit in this community. That's when it started. Last year, because of Shark Tank, I know of a handful of very successful subscription-based Shark Tank brands, but most of us do not have a subscription. And I look at, just like I looked at the lack of families and people that are not comfortable in the waves being out there in the water as an opportunity, that's how I look at the subscription business. So what do I do in a case like that? Come up with a solution, right? That's the opportunity. So I'm here today to let you know that we have announced the first Tandem Surf subscription business model for our brand. And guess what we call it? Can you have any idea? Can you guys check out this QR code?
I'm going to guess it's called the Vibe Club because I can read it. I don't know if they can.
Yes. So we're calling it, because we really are about good vibes, and it is about a community and experiences, not just about a product. We're excited today to launch the Tandem Vibe Club, a global club that will allow you to become part at any point of our community, to have shared experiences, to have travel access, tips, all sorts of benefits, including if there's something that happens to your board, you need a replacement. So we invite everyone here to join the Tandem Vibe Club. We're not just a product, we're about a whole community, a lifestyle, similar to what has happened with Margaritaville. But we hope it doesn't take us another 20 years to get to their level.
Absolutely. Now, if I do want to check out the product, potentially join the Vibe Club, where do I go? What do I do?
Well, right now, obviously, you can go to our website, tandemsurf, TANDMSURF.com. Okay, you could also go to vibeclub.com and reach out to me here. We're actually planning on having a pool party tonight, so if anybody wants to do that, there will be a pool party in Dallas, and that's what's so exciting. No longer do we really need waves to get started. We have about 100 of our new boards that we've brought to market, and we'd love to get you together. And one of the keys that we've done too as a family is we've always made content. Jack has literally traveled the world with me, from meeting with our manufacturers last year in November to fine-tune what the new products would look like, to actually taking them to the beaches. And guess what? Guess what country we went to after we manufactured our first products in China? What country can you think of that's pretty close that would provide the waves and the life experiences? Can you guys think of anywhere that we could have gone? The country is the Philippines. Okay, so Jack and I last November went to the Philippines. If you look at our sizzle reel from last year, what a magical place that is. So a shout out to our team in the Philippines that has also allowed us to leverage that global resources to bring products to market. So I encourage everyone that's listening to this podcast to think global. We've even launched the Global Founder Forum at globalfounderforum.com to provide a resource of people and connections to help other entrepreneurs bring their products to market, both from a product development as well as servicing that community.
Awesome. John, I cannot thank you enough for coming on the podcast. Everyone that is here in person, John is a super connector. He would love to meet each of you. He is a genuine person. He would absolutely, after this, come talk to him. John, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Welcome to the Tandem Vibe Club.
We can't thank our guests enough for coming on the show and sharing their knowledge and journey with us. We've got a lot to think about and potentially add into our own businesses. You can find all the links in the show notes. You can subscribe to the newsletter at honestecommerce.co to get each episode delivered right into your inbox. If you're enjoying this content, consider leaving a review on iTunes. That really helps us out. Lastly, if you're a store owner looking for an amazing partner to help you get your Shopify store to the next level, reach out to Electric Eye at electriceye.io/connect. Until next time.